welcome. I hope that you enjoy the DEF CON. And before to start, I would like to ask to get some feedback. Who all of you knows what is a SCIM? Please, hands up. Who all of you have worker and synchronized SCIM? Okay. And who all of you has used SAML or OpenID to synchronize the information? Okay, perfect. Well, now it's only to get a small feedback to know about this. Well, now we can start. And well, when I attend some session, I always like to know what is the goal of that session. What is the main idea? What is the reason that that session is created? In this case, for us is to try, as Hannah said yesterday, it's important to know what we have done and to display the new behaviors. And now we have been working to make easier the synchronization of the user. To explain that, we have split in more or less 2 blocks. The first one, the model user and provisioning, that we are going to talk about SCIM, that is the main topic of the session. Later, we are going to talk about a little bit about the just-in-time provisioning, because well, we have made some improvement, and well, a little bit about the future. We started with SCIM, and well, the first day that Zsigmond and Benza come to the team and tell us that one customer need to make DXP SCIM compliance, I asked to myself, why is needed? We already have LDAP that is used to synchronize that information. What is needed? What is needed? So, well, if we want to synchronize or to connect DXP SAS DXP with LDAP, we need some configuration. Well, we need, for example, a VPN and this kind of thing. So really, it makes that LDAP is not very cloud-friendly. So we need some configuration to make that, well, it's not cloud-friendly. So the main goal what is SCIM is created for that, to make easier the synchronization in cloud environments. And how it works, the difference is different. Now is the identity provider who has the information and use that SCIM that is a standard to make that the identity provider and the application, DSP or what else, can understand between them and can synchronize the information. One point that I would like to share here is that is important is how is made the synchronization. In LDAP is Liferay who makes the synchronization, running as a scheduler and make the request to LDAP to get all the information. But with SCIM, it's different. It's the identity provider who has the information and use the SCIM, the standard, to send the request to the application. In this case, the DSP or what else. Well, now that we know why SCIM is created, we are going to talk about a little bit about SCIM, a high level. What's solved? Well, this is the logo. That's always like it. What is it? And that is the URL that is in the references. But well, we have some highlights to share what is solved. The first thing that we are talking about previously is solve the communication between the entity provider and the platform that is going to synchronize the information. Define the endpoints that are needed to do that. Define the schemas because, well, we are going to synchronize information, so we have to know what is the information that we are going to synchronize. To know that is the name or what is the last name, and that's it. The CRUD, well, define some HTTP method to synchronize that information, to get, to put, path, put, delete, the 5. And of course, we are talking about the information, so the secure, the authorization. That information is very sensitive, so we have to cover that. Now that we know more or less what is solved in that standard, we are going to talk about what how is solved that problems. Well, the first things that is defined are the resources. The resources that are mandatory to support are 2, the user and the group, but you can define more. It's not necessary, but you could. And are defined the attributes of that user. 2 are defined in the standard, and it's the same. You can define more, but there are ones that are needed. And later I define some APIs. To talk about the APIs, I always like to split in two groups, more or less. The first that you can see are related to get information. Why are needed? Well, we have said that the user and groups are mandatory, but we can define more. How the identity providers know what are the resources that you support? Well, for example, with the first API, with the schema, the identity provider can call to that API and get the schemas that you support. In the same with the other one. There are other applications, for example, to change the password or the bulk, that to know if they are supported by the platform or not. And the other groups are, well, the APIs to what we are saying, the CRUD, to share, to update, to create, to delete that information. Well, now, what's Liferay support? Well, now we support or implement the user and the group that are the mandatories, and the attributes that are defined. And we have added some custom fields at the birthday and the gender that are included in the user of Liferay. So we have added. Here, and later in the demo, we are going to see that the standard is already prepared for that because it's defined one schema that is the user, but it's defined another one that's this user extension, where it's created to add that attributes that, well, in each platform are defined and are needed. So in this case, we have used that for that attributes. And related with the APIs, we have implemented all of these. And how we have done? Well, we have implemented the APIs, of course, using the REST Builder. That is the application that all of you know, I think so. And we, for the implementation of the scheme, we have used the Charon library that for the lessons and cover everything. And we have added all of these pieces, and we added the logic that is needed to store the information and to return the information in Liferay. And well, we haven't talked about the security yet. Well, we are talking about APIs, so in Liferay, the OAuth2 application is already exists, is created, we know it, and one solution could be create OAuth2 application. But well, to make easier, we have created a configuration that you can access to control panel, instance settings, security scheme, and there you only have to set the name, the application that you want to create, set the matcher field, and we are going to create a 2auth application with the name scheme underline and the name that you have set here. And we are going to create the token, and so here in the configuration that you are there, you can copy, and that is the token that you can use. Okay, that token you are going to need to configure the entity provider. Later in the demo, in the video, we are going to see it. And well, we know that that token is not for always. It's going to expire. So we have created a notification that is sent that notification by email or in the application that you see in the image to the user that has the administrator role for that site. When it's going to it's need 30 days, 10 days, and 1 day to expire, and when it's already expired, that token, that you can reset using that configuration. And well, now we know why is needed scheme, what is defined, what is implemented by Liferay or supported, and how we have done. Now we are going to see a video, or not, yes. The idea of this video is only to show you how is the easy to configure the scheme with other. In this video, we are going to see well, we don't have any user, well, test, of course, but we don't have any other user, and we are going to create the configuration, the scheme configuration. We are control, instance settings, and here we are going to create the application, and after we are going to Microsoft Intra. Yes, it's a video. I don't know if you remember yesterday the Cloudflare problem. So, well, we have tried to avoid these problems. And well, now we are copying the token. We are showing some groups that we have. Well, okay. And now in the application, we are going to set the URL that is needed, that the end of the URL is always the same, and the token. Here, well, this is the configuration of Microsoft Intra, and the provisioning, when it's loading, provisioning, we can set there the secret token, that is the token that we have created in the configuration, and now This is the URL when I was using ngrok, but this is the key part that is defined. We test that everything is working, and now we are going to save, please. Yes. And we are going to make a provision of one user. So we are going to check that that user is stored in Liferay. I've used the provisioning on demand because as default, we need to wait 40 minutes to make that synchronization. So, well, for the sample, I think that is enough with one user. We can check that everything is OK. And if we go to the users, that user should be created. So that is the user. Well, how maybe it could be a video generated by DI. It's not logging. Oh my God. Oh no. Ah, yes. 7. Control 5. No, okay. Now here we are in SCIM. Ahora here, and we have the endpoint for groups, we have the endpoint for user, and there are the other endpoints that we are talking about before to get the information. Here we have all of these. The first one is the group, this is the ID, but later, well, we have all the attributes that are defined. We have the service, for example, here. We have all the information related, for example, if we support the change password, bulk. In this case, in the first version, we haven't, but, well, in the future, we could be. But one thing that I would like to show you is in the user, here I have the user that is synchronized with Microsoft Entra, but we are going to check that this works. We are going to get all the users. Is here, and we have only one. If I create a new user, there we go. Yeah. Arroba the at in your keyboard, please.
What's the problem?
This one with this?
Oh, no.
No. Thank you.
This was all of my task.
My God. Here. We can create. I hope. Okay, we have 3 users, and if we make again the configuration, the request to the get, we only continue getting only one, only Julio Iglesias, but not Raiden. Why? Because we store what is the resource or the origin of that user, and if you make the search, only the user that synchronized using SCIM are going to show you. Okay. Well, continuing with this, the main topic was SCIM, but we wanted to talk about some other features that we have improved. The other one is just-in-time provisioning, and well, just-in-time is, well, all of you, I think that know, when you log in or you use SAML or OpenID to log in the user, that information that is synchronized is that just-in-time provision. It's synchronize that information and store in Liferay. Here, what is needed? Well, we have some cases, for example, when you don't have that provisioning tool, we can use it LDAP for SCIM, and well, when you only have OpenID or SAML to synchronize that information is one of the things. Well, I remember the first time when I started to work on it, and well, I remember that the configuration of the synchronization in both was different, and really it was a little bit frustrated. I know that you don't believe me, but I have a lot of hair when I started, and when I started to say, "Oh my God!" and well, now I'm here. So we have been working in Unify it, and well, now Zsigmond is going to talk about it. So.
Okay, beside implementing the SCIM support, we tried to make it consistent how we are bringing the user data into the DXP. And as there are at least 4 ways to bring the user data in, we tried to make them similar in that. And we had to take care of 3 things, at least, but these are the main ones. The first one was that in case of the OpenID Connect, there wasn't continuous synchronization of the data. I don't know if any of you remember or experienced that in the past when you used OpenID Connect for sign-in, single sign-on, then there was a synchronization only in the first case, and there wasn't any follow-up synchronization of the user data. So what we did is to make it continuous. So each time when a user signs in, there is a user data synchronization. And we also applied the same that Alvaro described for the SCIM. For now, we are saving the source of the data for all the users and the groups also. Because the second one that we needed to take care of was the group handling. It was also inconsistent. At the LDAP, there is a full group synchronization with membership info and everything. But for the OpenID Connect, there wasn't any at all. And for the SAML, there were only a membership handling, but there weren't any group synchronization a year before or something. When we made some changes around the SAML, that was not proven a big success because we changed the behavior, but we almost immediately got the feedback that we shouldn't have done that because it confused everyone as we made the SAML source of the group membership as the single source of truth. So it overrode everything. We decided to change that and bring everything together. So we changed it for the SAML too, that there is a parallel group and group membership handling now. If there are different or parallel configuration for different ways of bringing the user data into the DXP, if there is OpenID Connect configured, SAML, SCIM, LDAP, or all of them, from wherever the data comes, we mark the data with the source. So the info is always there where the group or the user came from. And we are handling that consistently. So it may happen that the group is coming from different sources, the group with the same name, and the users can come from different sources, but for now we are handling all of them. The third one that I wanted to talk about was the custom attributes. Because LDAP and the SAML supported bringing custom attributes, you were able to configure which attribute from the external sources should be saved to which custom attributes in the portal. We implemented that for all of the ways. So for now, it's possible to configure custom attributes for OpenID Connect and for SCIM also. However, in case of SCIM, it's automatic. So there is no mapping. It identifies the attributes by name. For now, hopefully, we have a good way of handling the user data as all of the ways are working in the same way. And we have a consistent user data, and group membership handling. Still, there are some smaller opportunities to enhance the features. We are thinking on supporting multiple SCIM clients because for now we are supporting only one. And we may need to adjust the group handling because currently there is no deletion of the data in the DXP, which we made this decision just to be secure with the data, but later we may consider changing this to remove the group when there is no reference on that anymore. If there is no members in it and there is no other info, the source info and things like this, we may delete that in the future. But of course, if you would have any feedback, you can find me anytime and you can influence the enhancement of the feature. Your turn.
Well, the references, if you want, is the main page about the SCIM, the RFC, the page of Liferay Learn, and well, the list that we have used to make this presentation and we have used with the users. But well, here we have one problem that you have seen personal information. So we have the GDPR. One later in the session of Manu and Prax, they are going to talk about a little bit about it. But we have two options. The first one is that you have to sign a paper about that, or we have made some calls. And if you don't mind, you can look to the screen that you have closer, please. Well, well, you
have you already done?
Yeah, no, I had summary that we have seen, that you don't have the sunglasses, you know. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed the session, and well, we have tried to explain that we have been working to make easier the synchronization using different tools or support different standards, SCIM, and improve that we already have. So, thank you.